I have a feeling it's not live though.
It says
Not live.
meeting is now
There,
streaming live on Facebook. Now we are. So I'll say it again. For those of you that missed it, I'm saying it again. I have a really nice picture here in southern Nevada, and my counterpart up there in northern Nevada, that's beautiful up there. I've been to Lake Tahoe about 5 times. And Terry, we got you down in Florida. Super excited. Episode 26 today. And we're just talking about leaving California and where all the people are going. So, Terry, how are you?
I'm doing great, David. About 77 degrees today in Central Florida. It is beautiful. We had rain over the weekend, so it's life is good in Central Florida.
And we're going to get to the weather with Susan because it's been all over the news. And even down here in southern Nevada, we're getting a lot of news. I hear that Lake Tahoe got between 5 and 10 feet, Susan. And welcome to our show. But we always start with the weather. So, how are you, Susan?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We had quite a snowstorm over the weekend. Lake Tahoe obviously got lots of snow. Highway 80 that goes from Sacramento up to Reno, that was shut down. I think it's still shut down. Too many spin outs, too dangerous for the semis. But down where I live, which is east of Lake Tahoe in Carson Valley, we only got maybe 8 to 10 inches of snow. And it's a beautiful sunny day today. So all that sun is melting the snow off the roads. So it's beautiful here.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for joining us today. And, just for those of you that are tuning into our show for the very first time, I just kind of want to let everybody know why we do this and what the show is all about. Basically, our founder is with us every week. He's committed to doing this, and so am I. We're on episode 26. We go out throughout the country and we talk to professionals and really good realtors and lenders, and we let people know what the facts are. And sometimes there's misconceptions about cities. There's certainly misconceptions about Las Vegas, but we're not going to talk about Las Vegas. We're going to talk about Northern Nevada today. And we try to give you tips. We try to let you know that we have tons of resources and that all of our realtors, we have over 350 realtors, and we have these resources where we can actually help you and take some of the stress out. And some of our realtors offer incentives. So, I mean, it's really a win-win for everybody. And Susan, let's get started. Let's dive into Northern Nevada. Before we do, though, I always ask Terry this. How many times have you been to Lake Tahoe in Northern Nevada, Terry?
Oh, more times than I can count, David. I lived in the East Bay. Lake Tahoe was just 3.5 hours away, as long as you weren't driving in Friday traffic. And I never drove in Friday traffic because I didn't want to take 6 hours.
Mhm.
But love it. Love Reno too. Reno's an awesome place. And people say, oh my gosh, have you seen downtown? Well, downtown's not that bad, but also it's got a great area surrounding it. In fact, I've got a good friend who spent her entire life in the Bay Area, sold her house in Burlingame, moved to the hills or mountains overlooking Reno. She has a whole side of her house looks out over downtown Reno from about 10 miles away. And it's just beautiful up there. And I know a lot of people from California move to Nevada so they don't have income tax, but also they're close enough they can go visit families, and so that's a great reason why so many people are moving to Northern Nevada, Carson City, Reno, even Incline Village, that kind of thing.
Well, with that being said, Susan, we're going to let you take it away. Where's that picture behind? It looks like Lake Tahoe. I believe that's South Lake Tahoe, but I'm not positive. I haven't been there for over 25 years. And tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been a realtor, and I understand that you actually moved from the Bay Area to that area as well. So we got a lot to talk about. Susan, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, David and Terry. Lake Tahoe in the background, you're probably looking west from the East Shore. It's obviously not right now because it'd be covered in snow, everything. The water's still gorgeous, but I'm a native Californian and born in the 50s, baby boomer. My family they came over from Scotland, Glasgow, in the gold rush era. And so I'm a third, fourth generation Californian, but grew up in the Bay Area and got married. And the man I married to knew he was going to move out of state and he was looking at Oregon, Arizona, and Nevada. Well, we drove up to Nevada and came up over Kingsbury Grade, which is the pass that comes over the south end of Lake Tahoe into Carson Valley. And we drove down, I saw that valley, I said, why not here? So
Mm,
that's where we landed. We
mhm.
started transferring our assets from the Bay Area. We were in the East Bay and started buying property over here, and we've been here for 25 years now. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Love it, love it. And the beauty of living here, we're only 200 miles away from the Bay Area. So it's a quick, from where I live, it's about a 4-hour drive down to the main, Berkeley, Oakland area of the Bay Area. About a 5-hour drive down to Santa Cruz. I have a son in Santa Cruz and I have a son in Los Gatos. So I'm over there quite often and know the drive pretty well. The reason why we came here is for tax advantages. And
Right.
as most of you know, there's a real good reason why to live here. There's no state income tax, no corporate income tax. You just answer to the IRS. The cost of living here is much lower than California. Property taxes are low. Housing costs are low, although in my time here, they've definitely increased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that a lot, I mean, and I posted a few different posts about our having a meeting in Northern Nevada, and wow, Terry, I gotta say, this was probably one of the more positive comments that I've gotten. Of course, we had some people that said some negative things, but for the most part, and by the way, for those of you that are listening, we love the positive comments. And as long as you want to keep it real, we don't mind. People say that it's hot in Las Vegas. Yeah, it's hot here. We get it. But if you say it respectfully. We're here to help. And that was one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about, because Las Vegas, there's so many great things here, but there are some bad things. And we did that on my show. But now let's talk about Northern Nevada. So tell me, what are some of the things that you hear people saying, oh, Northern Nevada, no. And then Northern Nevada, yes. And I know the beauty is probably going to be the top one. So let's talk a little bit about some of the downside, if there is any.
Some of the downsides here are it's too rural for people coming from big cities. Okay. They don't have the services available to them that they had in the big urban cities. Okay, those are slowly being added to this area. It does get hot here in the summer. We definitely have 4 full seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall. So summertime, we have a good couple of weeks that are in the 100 to 105 range. But, you have air conditioning and you find ways to cope during that time. So those are the main negatives, I think. The school system is probably not the best in the country. It's ranked down there, but we're working hard on improving that.
Right.
So you do have options for schooling.
We got a Republican governor. Yay. So
there's a Republican governor. The political climate in the state is, it's pretty much blue in the Las Vegas area, blue in the Reno area, and then pretty much everywhere else in the state it's red. It's big red area where we live.
Yeah, and the only thing I was thinking, as soon as you say hot, you're not talking Las Vegas hot. You're talking,
No.
Yeah, you're not talking Las Vegas
No.
hot. But
No.
no. And then let's talk about some of the fun stuff. And I mean, the ski resorts up there are just insane. I mean, the snow skiing. I've been up there, and I used to travel up to go snow skiing quite a bit. And the beauty of it, my goodness, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So what are some of the other attractions besides all this outdoor beauty that's sitting there behind you? What else do you guys have?
Oh, there's so much. I mean, you could live up here and not work and constantly do things outdoors that would be fun to do. A lot of great history right here in Carson City, which is where I am. This is the state capital of Nevada, Carson City. A lot of state employees in this area. There's great museums. Virginia City is not too far. That's a fun town to go visit with mines and constant activities there. BLM land is all around us. So you can get in your ATVs or side by sides and go out and explore on dirt roads for miles and miles and miles. Wild horses around. Lake Tahoe has beautiful trails all over the place. One of my favorite hikes is up on Carson Pass, which is about 8,000 feet, and I hike up to about 9,000 feet. So, you know, if you're coming from sea level, you definitely want to acclimatize for a few days before you do hikes like that.
Right.
Mountain biking, fishing, a lot of shooting, there's hunting. So much. I mean, I can just,
The list
anything
goes
you
on
can
and
think
on,
of, you can
right?
pretty much do here, right?
You know, what's funny is the couple things that we talk about every week, and I'm sure Terry's got a couple questions or comments too, but one of the things that people are always concerned about is, and I did get some comments, I'm going to be honest, that some people were accusing you of being a mini California. We get that down here in Las Vegas as well. Oh, yeah, Southern Nevada, that's just like a mini Cali, or Northern Nevada, it's a mini Cali. And one of the things that we always talk about is that, oh, all these people are coming from California and they're bringing all their politics with them and they're bringing all of their traditions and everything into Nevada. And that is not really the case. That's not what we found. People are leaving California because they don't want to be in that environment. Do you find that up in Northern Nevada that holds true, and that Californians aren't bringing it, they're trying to get away from it?
They're trying to get away from it. A lot of my clients have been Californians moving out from Southern California or the Bay Area or Sacramento area over here for the lifestyle and the cost of living. I lost my train of thought.
Well, that's okay. It
Calif-
happens to me.
Yeah,
all the
let me just that's okay, Susan. I got a couple of questions for you, but first of
Yeah.
all, I want to backtrack just a little bit. I want people to know, first of all, if you're from the big city, BLM doesn't mean what you think BLM means. It's Bureau of Land Management. Okay, it's not the other
Correct.
one. So
Thank
that's
you for
not, they don't
clarifying,
have the other
Terry.
BLM in Northern Nevada to the level that you're used to. So I just want to make sure people are clear on that. Second of all, you've got amazing amount of jobs up there. I know that you've got what, the largest business park west of the Mississippi is in the Reno area. Tesla, Google, all the big players. And I didn't know this, and I don't know if you know it or not, Susan, but Microsoft worldwide sends all of their revenue through Northern Nevada because it's tax-free, right? There's no corporate income tax. And that all of that money goes through Northern Nevada. I got to believe there's some benefit from that too. I know Amazon has a large facility or facilities in your area. So if you can talk about jobs and also the growth, because I know that there's a lot of development going on, and is there enough water? Is there enough growth going on that is planned versus just a bunch of infrastructure? If you can address that too.
Boy, that's a good point. You know, when I came here about 25 years ago, the whole southern valley of Reno was still a cattle ranch, DeMonte Ranch. And since that time, they've built it out. There's no cattle ranch there anymore. Yes, there's water. Some of the water for Reno, it comes out of the Truckee River, which comes out of Lake Tahoe. Eventually that river goes all the way into Pyramid Lake, which is part of the Washoe tribe, that's Indian land. So there's a lot of fighting over that. Infrastructure wise, water, yes, down in Carson City and Carson Valley, the water comes out of aquifers under the ground. And of course, the Sierra Mountains recharge those aquifers constantly. There are a lot of the older properties are on wells on private property. So you know, it just depends on where you're located and how deep your well goes. Some people out to the east on Highway 50 in Dayton, Mound House, Stagecoach, Silver Springs, they're having to drill their wells a little bit deeper. And then, of course, they're on septic systems. But as far as the Tahoe, you talk about the largest industrial park. It's the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, TRIC. They call it TRIC. It's 100,000 acres, and they started doing that, working on that back in they started working on it in the 2000s, but in 2014 was when they really started selling those properties. And that's when Elon Musk came up here and opened their Tesla factory with Panasonic. Since then, Switch, which is a cloud computing storage facility, is also out there, as well as what's a pet warehouse? Chewy.
Petco?
Chewy.
Chewy.
Oh, Chewy, yeah,
Chewy.
yeah.
A lot of mail order companies. Amazon was out there, but they actually moved to North Reno. So their warehouse is in North Reno now off of 395. But they've sold out of all their parcels there. And now they are working on Trick 2, which is further east down Highway 80. That's on the Lyon County side. So Story County is where the first Trick Park is. And now the second Trick Park is going to be in Lyon County. There's still work to do. They're working on doing land swaps with the Bureau of Land Management to get property for it. It's not going to be as large, probably around 20,000 acres, but they have to acquire the water rights for it and put the infrastructure in for it, but they're going to do it. And I think it's all going to come to fruition here in the next 10 to 20 years. So Microsoft just bought a big piece of land just to the north of the Silver Springs Airport off of Highway 50. Something big's happening out there. Don't know quite what it is. They're pretty tight-lipped about it. But Silver Springs has a little airport that would be perfect for the businesses in the Trick Park to ship all their goods out of. Right now they're using the Reno airport. So it's coming. It's definitely coming. And the only place really where we can develop is to the east of Highway 50, east of Carson City, to the east of Reno, east of where the Trick Park is out to Fernley. And the reason why they liked Fernley so much is because it has all the services out there, whereas the first Trick Park didn't have anything. No gas stations, no hotels, no stores. Fernley has it all: banks, gas stations, shopping, housing, everything. So Fernley and Sparks have become the residential hub for the people who work out there. Last I heard, they have 25,000 people a day going in and out of that park. And when they first opened it up, there was such a huge traffic jam on Highway 80 that they realized they needed to do more, structured shifts for people to work, so they aren't all coming in at 8 o'clock and all leaving at 5. So now, workers come and go all through the day out there.
Wow, that sounds like that's amazing. I didn't even know that. And I'm going to have to keep in touch with you better. You're going to be my new sister up there in Northern Nevada. So my question would be, with all of that infrastructure, I can't imagine, with all of that job opportunity, I can't imagine. I think they brought all the jobs, and did they do a good job of making sure that all those people had places to live? And let's talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's real estate. So let's talk a little bit about inventory. And I think I understand a little bit about Northern Nevada real estate. I think it's actually a little bit more expensive up there, but I'm sure you have all different areas and geographical places where it's less. And I mean, if you're right there on the lake, you could be in a really multi-million-dollar home. So talk about inventory, talk about prices in different areas where people have choices.
Okay, so like everywhere else in the United States, inventory is low. Everyone refinanced, they got their low rates. You've got these baby boomers living till their 80s and 90s. They don't want to move. But we're seeing an uptick in inventory coming up. Of course, it's now March, so spring is coming, the selling season up here. Everyone pretty much takes their homes off the market over winter around here. In the Reno Sparks area, the median price homes are around $550,000. And that's about the same for Carson City. Down in Douglas County, which is south of Carson City, it's a little bit higher, in the 700,000s, but it depends on what sells in that market. And that number goes up and down depending how many multi-million-dollar houses we have for sale in Douglas County. The homes are starting to not stay on the market as long. So we're looking at 30 to 60 days on the market.
So What is the, can somebody find a house for 350, 380 in your area?
Oh, that's gonna be tough. You could probably find, not in the Reno area, you could. It's gonna be a little rougher neighborhood. And what I'm seeing are, we have a lot of manufactured homes here
Mhm.
that you can buy. They're converted real property.
Okay.
And that's what you can get for that price. If you want a stick-built house, you're gonna be paying starting around 400,000 and up. And that's been a big change in the last 6 to 8 years. The prices have increased. During COVID, the prices increased about 20% per year around here because everyone was just flooding in. And
Right.
I'm
Getting
not
out of
talking about
California.
Lake Tahoe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just this area.
Can you also, Susan, talk about Minden and maybe Gardnerville, what you get down there and why people might want to consider that also?
So Minden and Gardnerville, they're just east of the south end of Lake Tahoe. So if you visualize, you're looking overhead on Lake Tahoe. It's just to the south, to the east of that south end of Lake Tahoe. Beautiful valley. It's mostly agriculture. We have a lot of cattle ranching, a lot of alfalfa growing, and they really have a slow growth mentality in Douglas County. However, the developers are building lots of homes. There's lots of homes coming on the market in the next several years, and some that are being built right now. They're smaller lots, but definitely affordable for first-time buyers. And
Mhm.
those homes are in the range of like mid 400 up to 600,000. And the thing about the new builders is they buy money, so you can get a better interest rate
Right.
from new home builders than you can if you just go in the open market. Cute little houses, great starter homes for families or people retiring that just want a single story, 3-bed, 2-bath home.
Mm.
A beautiful valley with amazing views of the mountains. And I always tell people when they move up here, stay to the east side of the valley a little bit because everyone wants to live just at the base of the mountains, but that's where all the snow jumps and it comes over the mountains. So if you don't want to live in the snow and have to drive in that, think about living a little farther to the east side.
Well, that's a lot of geography there. That's a lot. I mean, in Las Vegas, we have Summerlin and Green Valley and Henderson, basically, and it makes it easy. But it sounds like you have a lot of different areas and a lot of different choices. Maybe for our viewers that are watching this Northern Nevada show, can you share? Do you cover all of those territories, or do you have partners where you say, you know what, I don't really go that far south, or I don't go that far east? Do you cover all of it?
Well, like anywhere in the West, you have to get in the car and drive. And that's the case around here. So I've done transactions up in Sparks, Reno, North Reno, out to Dayton, even out to Silver Springs. Fallon's a little farther. Urington's a little farther, but I go south to Minden, Gardnerville. So Carson City's pretty centrally located in this Northern Nevada area.
Mm-hmm.
When you start going out to Lovelock and Winnemucca, that's an area I probably wouldn't drive out to on a regular basis.
And do you take care of Lake Tahoe area? Anything up there?
I do. I'm dually licensed. So I'm licensed in California as well as Nevada.
Okay.
And I do work around the South Lake Tahoe area, which has always been a great little, summer cabin community. There's about 23,000 residents in that area. Of course, tourism and skiing and playing on Lake Tahoe is the big activity there. So there's a lot of second homes and there's a lot of empty homes, which has created a problem for the local residents finding affordable housing. So they're working on that in South Lake Tahoe. And then on the east side of Lake Tahoe, which is Nevada, I definitely work in the Douglas County area, but Incline Village is its own little world.
Mm.
So if someone wants to buy an Incline Village, the median price is at least $1 million and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I would refer clients to another agent in Incline Village. And that's the same for Tahoe City area as well, which is on the California side. Don't really work in that area. I'd rather have local people there who know the area to work with those clients.
Wow, Susan, it sounds like you really have a good handle on that. That's a lot. You covered a lot. We've been on for about 25 minutes already, Terry, and she's covered a ton of stuff. I can see she's passionate. If you want to know about Northern Nevada, Susan's going to be your person you definitely want to talk to. Did I miss anything on real estate, Terry?
I don't think so. My brother, who was born and raised in Florida, the first time he ever lived outside of Florida was Carson City, and they had to get used to snow. They'd never lived in snow before. Lived there about a year, but they had a beautiful home there, and they loved it there. Just like I said, getting used to different weather than what you get here in Florida, which is it's hot and then it's hotter, is about all we deal with here. Susan, let me ask you, last weekend, how many smash and grabs did you have at your local mall? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just want people are so used to smash and grabs in the Bay Area, so I just wanted to make
Not
sure.
here.
Okay,
No.
so they're not going to have to deal with smash and grabs okay, all right. That's I assumed
No.
that, but
It's pretty safe here. You've got your usual miscreants around doing things they shouldn't be doing. But it's a minor part of living here. Most people are extremely friendly. They're very neighborly. It's an area where you're walking down the street and people say hello to you. And I know in the Bay Area, how many times have you walked down the street and people don't even make eye contact with you? That's not the case here. Very friendly.
Susan, you brought up something that I'm curious about, and I know that our listeners that are watching the show, and by the way, we have a lot of people that watch live, but then we also have the recorded version. And if you want to know about Northern Nevada, this is going to be a great show. The one question that I had is you had brought this up that the house pricing has really gone up since COVID. And you said that you deal with a lot of people that are still leaving California and coming to the area. Do you think that that some of that has deterred some of the Californians that maybe have looked at Reno and they said, no, it's too much money, and maybe they changed their mind and went down in the south or some of our other migration cities? Have you seen that happen, or are they usually pretty confident that they want to go there, or do they check it out and then go somewhere else?
Well, the people I work with, they do come and check it out. They love it here. And I think people struggle more with, how do I get out of my current situation to move? That's what they're grappling with. It's the logistics of extracting themselves from where they live to go to where they want to be. But everyone I've worked with up here loves this area. I had someone in South Lake Tahoe who wanted to get out of the snow. So he bought a house down here in Carson City, and they don't have to deal with that snow, and they absolutely love it. And they came from Livermore. I have another buyer who I'm working with from Southern California and the greater Los Angeles area, who just came up here last weekend, showed her around. They drove up, they went through Gardnerville and Minden. They said, no, too small for us. We don't want to live there. Then we came to Carson City and I showed them all the new builds here in Carson City, and they're like, it's nice, but they were staying in a hotel in Reno and they decided they want to be in Reno because it's familiar to them, that bigger city, more activity, more things to do. So everyone's a little different. Some people want acreage and they want to be out in, near the BLM land, the Bureau of Land Management. I just sold a 5-acre property out there and they absolutely love being there. It's a little bit of a drive into work, but they don't care because they're living their dream, So everyone's a little different. I think when people come here and they see what's here, they fall in love with it and realize how close they are to so many recreation areas. And then they can pop back to California if they need to do something special. It's not that far. They don't have to get on an airplane.
Well, Susan, I moved to Las Vegas in 1975. There was 160,000 residents. The Las Vegas metro area now has 2.5 million. I don't believe that the metro of Reno has anything like that, but has it tripled or quadrupled? Do you know?
Yeah, this was something I was going to share with you. So I don't know if
you want to share your
can.
screen? You want to share?
Yeah, I have some numbers of population in the area.
Let's do that. That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share.
Can I share? Okay. So here's some populations in the area. So as of July last year, 2023, Nevada had 3,177,000 plus people in the entire state. The Reno Sparks, the greater Reno Sparks area has about 538,000 people. Carson City has 58,000 people, so it has a really small town feel. Douglas County, which includes Minden and Gardnerville, plus some other small towns south of Gardnerville, and State Line. So State Line is the Nevada side of South Lake Tahoe that goes all the way up to like Spooner Summit area, which, you know, there's quite a few homes in that area around the lake on that southeast side. So that's what, almost 50,000 people. And then Dayton, if you head on 50 going east, that's about 15,000 people and growing. They're building a lot of new homes out there. So that's where you're headed towards. It's a good community for people who work in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center who don't want to live in the Reno Sparks area, because they just built the USA Parkway that connects Highway 50 to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. So that's a kind of a
lot.
snapshot of.
Yeah, that's a lot. I that's higher than I thought it was. Do you happen to remember what Reno was like 25 years ago? Was it like 125,000 or somewhere around there?
I wish I could tell you. The last I heard was 400,000. So I was really surprised when I did my research for this. It was at 538,000. I've been telling my clients, oh, it's around 400, 450,000, but it's way more. And it's only because they're building so much up there.
Yeah, that's not a small town. And on population, with one of the things that we always like to share with our listeners is traffic. Do you have any California traffic problems, or is it totally different?
Thank you for asking that, because as a Nevadan, when we came up here, there's a lot of courtesy on the road. And I want to ask everyone who comes from California, please be courteous when you drive. No one's zipping them through the cars on the freeway. You don't change lanes abruptly in front of someone else. You put your blinker on and you have to slow down. It's the rural life up here, and be courteous and kind. And so, yeah, when you see someone driving like that, you look at the plate and you go, okay, they're from California. So you give them a little, it's like, please don't drive fast up here. Please be courteous.
And you heard it from Susan. So she said it very nicely. Please drive with, don't be mean. So, and then as far as the airport, is it international, and how far is everybody from those in general? How far is it to get to the airport, and is it easy to make connections and travel all over?
Yes. And if you look at the map of Reno, the Reno Tahoe International Airport is smack dab in the middle of Reno, kind of like how it is down in Las Vegas, David. And I hear they're thinking about moving that airport to the south end of the valley there in Las Vegas. But in the Reno area, we have quite a few flights going in and out. If you're going across country, you'll probably have to take connection flights. They do have nonstop flights to some of the larger cities a couple of times during the day. My suggestion is, and also being in the travel business for 15 years, book early and save money.
Right.
It's been a really nice little airport to go in and out of, but recently they've started working on expanding the ticketing check-in area. And so it's under construction right now. We're looking forward to having that done with. And the rental cars have been in the covered parking lot that's right across from the check-in area, and they're moving the rental cars off property and making more covered parking available for the travelers. So big changes coming at the airport.
What you got, Terry?
Yeah, I've flown in and out of Reno many times. It's a great little airport, and it's very close to everything in Reno. Can you address the freeway situation? I know that the last time I was there, it's probably been 5 years since I was in Reno. They were building more freeways because the growth is there. Unlike California, which says, oh no, we need more bike lanes and mass transit. I think Nevada actually realizes that people need their cars and need to drive in them. So can you just address that, please?
Yeah, it's still better than California here. Commute hour is nothing like what I've experienced in the Bay Area. Traffic flows, but yeah, there's more cars on the road, and yeah, it slows down a little bit. They've just improved some of the roadway up close to the big 395/80 interchange. But, you know, they really need to address Highway 80 going to the east. I don't know what the plans are, and there's really no room, because if you drive on that road, that freeway, and you go past John Esquaga's Nugget, you'll realize there's no room for that freeway to go. It's right up against the casino.
Mm.
They, in 2017, they finally opened the new freeway in between Reno and Carson City. And that was huge. It's a 6-lane road, so 3 lanes each way, and it bypasses the old 395, which you had to do at 55 miles an hour. Now you can do 70, 75 miles an hour. And to get from Carson City to like the airport is a 35-minute drive, whereas it used to be an hour plus.
Hmm.
So they're also building more homes up Pyramid Highway, meaning that road takes you to Pyramid Lake, and the huge construction on that as well, just because they're building so many homes. So that's going to be a big improvement for everyone.
Great.
And Susan, one of the things that we always like to ask, and we always like to get a different perspective on this. And by the way, I really, you know, I've talked to you several times, and I haven't really got to know you, but this show has really enlightened me on things that I was always curious about. And like I said, I haven't been up there in a long time. I really want to come up and go snow skiing. It's if you like to snow ski, you need to go to Lake Tahoe. But one of the things that so a lot of times we'll have people that are in our groups, and Terry's done an amazing job. We've got almost 300,000 members in our groups, and I mean, and it just grows every day. So what would you say to somebody that's maybe watching this show and they're really kind of stuck? And they're just sitting there and they're thinking, you know, I really need to leave, but I don't even know where to start. And they're kind of stuck. They can't get out or whatever. What would you say to somebody that was in that situation?
Oh boy, make the commitment. I would say just make the commitment, because when you make that commitment, everything falls into place. And, you know, don't try and eat the whole elephant at once. Take small bites. Look at what you need to do first. If you're looking at selling your house in California, get it fixed up. Actually, do an inspection on it and do the repairs before you even put it on the market, because more times than often, I see those repairs being a hindrance for a buyer, or it delays the process. Pack up all your stuff in your house. That helps move along with your commitment. Take all those personal items and just put them in boxes and store them in your garage, and make your house as beautiful as possible, so when buyers come through, they can see themselves in there. In the meantime, come up here, call me, and I'll take you around and show you what you can buy, or go on my website and you can see what's on the market right now in all the various cities in northern Nevada and even Lake Tahoe, and see what kind of area you would like. There's so much information online about schools. If you have family and you need to have your kids going to a school up here, you know, check that out too, and see where the best neighborhood is that you can afford, that you could get your kids into a good school system. So it just takes, it's like exercise, you know, you just have to take that first step,
Right.
and you'll be on your way.
You know, it's funny, every realtor, and by the way, for those of you that are in our listening group and you're watching this show, I don't know if you know this or not, but Terry has actually interviewed every single one of the 350 realtors that we have. And we've done more than 26 shows, but we just started counting. And this is our 26th episode. And every single show, we always have the same thing from the same realtor. They're not saying, hey, I want to buy you a house. How much you want to spend? Come to my city. I'll even drive you around. I'll give you a tour. I want to help you. I want to make sure that this city, this area works for you and your family. So come here. And we get that same advice week after week after week. And it's great advice. You don't want to, just go move somewhere and then figure it out. You want to go see if your family really would work. The last thing that I always talk about, and I love stories, and Terry's done such a great job. We have moderators, we have people that kind of monitor what's being said. Not in that way, but we just want people to be nice and to be friendly. Terry and we like living in a community where your neighbor goes, hey, how are you? Having a barbecue Saturday, you want to come by? Door will be open. Don't even need to knock. That's what we want. We want, and I taught martial arts for 35 years. So I teach people, you get what you give. So we want people to be nice. So it's all about stories. And I just love, I get kind of wrapped up in it because everybody shares their story. I love it. And so I was asked this question: do you have any story where you helped somebody leave California and they came to your area? Do you have one that just resonates with you and you could share a story for somebody that might be thinking, maybe I should go? Do you have one that stands out?
Oh my gosh. About a couple of years ago, this couple called me, and they lived down near the Sacramento area. And they'd been there for 30 plus years, and they'd lived other places in the United States, but they wanted to move to Nevada for the tax reasons. We looked all over the place. We looked in South Lake Tahoe. We looked down in Gardnerville. We looked up in Reno. We looked in Carson City, and they settled on this sweet home in Washoe Valley, which is the valley in between Carson City and Reno. And he was a car collector. He collected Porsches. And so he wanted a garage to put his cars in. And, the wife would come up with her son to look at the properties, and the husband sometimes came, but I knew that this house piqued their interest because she got very giddy. And I thought, okay. So sure enough, they put an offer in on it, and one thing led to another, and they bought it. All worked out. Well, I've seen them over the last couple of years and visited their property, and they absolutely love it up here. So they fixed up the barn. He has all his Porsches in. It's not a barn. It's like a big shop, big high bay shop with garage doors on either side so he can drive his cars in and out. The son wanted chickens, so now they have a big chicken coop that's protected from all the predators, the coyotes and the eagles that come and eat the chickens. Yeah. And she got a couple of miniature horses. So they've created this little farm, and they absolutely love it. So that's been a real success story for me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story. And I imagine you have a ton of those. And I can tell, like I said, you have that passion. And, we just want to help people. We want people to have a better quality of life. And nobody's done that better than Terry. And we talk about this too, Susan. When he first started this group, he thought maybe I'll get up to 200. And now here he is, close to 300,000 members. And that's really all we try to do is we give. And we try to give information. We try to help people that are in this situation that want to get out of California, and we help people. So in closing, Terry, did I miss anything? Do you have any other final thoughts?
No, this has been great. Susan, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having people work with you to help them escape California for those who want to. I think after the election coming up, I think there's going to be some real challenges in California. That's just my personal feeling. I know we go through ebbs and flows, but let's remember California's got today in March of 2024 has a $60+ billion deficit. I suspect Nevada has no deficit. I know Florida has a $15 billion surplus right now. So things are really not going well in California, and they don't have the money to fix it. And if they do have the money to fix it, they don't know what they're doing. So it doesn't get fixed. Which is why I'm happy to not live there any longer. Again, if you're happy in California, God bless you. Feel free to stay. and pay for your $6 gallon of gas and your taxes. But anyway, Susan, it's been great. I love the area you're in. I've got some great friends of mine who moved from Concord in the East Bay to Gardnerville. They could not be happier in Northern Nevada. And as I said, I've been to Carson City, Reno many times. And of course, the South Shore of Lake Tahoe is just an amazing place. So looking forward to having people working with you. And I want to thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you very much, Terry and David, for having me on your show. And I look forward to helping anyone who's interested in moving to California or moving to Nevada. Sorry for that little mistake. I'm very grateful to have me on board. Appreciate it.
Well, Susan, we would really like for you to share your contact information. So if you could share your phone number and your email, that would be great. And like you're getting an endorsement from me and Terry for sure. We know that you're passionate. We know your heart's in the right place, and it just exudes when you're speaking about your area. And I think you would be a great resource for anyone considering Northern Nevada. So if you would just share your contact, that'd be great.
Okay, do you want me to just say it or
yes, please
show it on the
you can show it if you want, either one. What do you prefer?
Yeah, I'll show it for the people who are looking. Let's see if I can share my screen again. Can I share my screen? Yeah,
yes.
Okay, let me just get down to that. Okay, so my contact information, my phone number is area code 775-600-9025. My email is Susan, SUSAN MACLEAN at C like Charlie, B as in Bravo, select RE is in real estate.com. And I also have my website on there. You can contact me through that, which is Susan, SUSAN McLean, spelled MACLEAN .CB, like Coldwell Banker, select, SELECTRE, like in real estate.com.
Perfect. And then if you could stop sharing, there we go. And again, if you're looking for a realtor in any city leaving California, please contact me or Terry. You can reach me at 702-374-1771. You can get a hold of Terry. You can message him. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Terry actually will give you a free consultation, and he'll talk about, he deals with so many people leaving California that he loves to just tell people about different cities. And Terry's pretty much been to just about every city that he's that we have in our group with our 350 realtors.
In fact, I'm going to state number 49, Montana. I'm going to Montana in May. So that'll be state number 49. And I'll just have Alaska will be the last state I have to check off. From Florida to Alaska is going to be a long ways at some point, but I'll make it. And so I've been to all 50 states.
By the way, Terry didn't, we've never said this before, but Terry did make a commitment to me, and he said that, David, once we get to 1 million members, I'm taking you on an Alaska cruise. So I can't wait. So we only have—
You gotta get your own room though, pal. I'm not, you're not bunking with me.
So I only need 700,000 more members. Anyway,
we'll get there.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you next Monday. Take care.
Thank you all. Thanks,
All right,
Susan.
bye.
Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye.